take a comfy seat. Thank you so much for joining me for our December challenge. Morning, Noya. So just briefly before we get into our December challenge too deeply, I'm guessing most of you have got a yoga mat. But for some of the work that we're going to be doing over the course of the 30 days, it would be really handy if you had a couple of yoga blocks and a strap. Now, on my YouTube channel, there's a thing called Yoga Prop Tips. And you can go into that and just, it's only about 5 minutes, and it'll tell you all the alternative things you could use as, dressing gown cord, what you can adapt to create blocks at home for yourself to improve your experience. So if you could have we're not going to use them today, but maybe think about, and on the odd occasion, we might use a chair or something like that as well. And it's always really lovely. I've got a journal to have something to journal, just to, if you have the time to write down how the practice went and how you're feeling and progressing over the days. All right, morning, Sarah and Noya. Okay, so if you have even if you don't have a posh journal, it's you can go and get just a scrap of paper or something, and we'll use that after class today. So I'll invite, it'll be your little bit of homework to go and do something in a journal after we've finished. All right, so let's take a comfortable seat, lift and widen your upholstery. Okay, take a breath into the side body, head of the arm bones going back, and just allow your hands to rest gently on your thighs as we embark on 30 more days together. So it's lovely to see you all. Soften in behind your eyes. And just for a moment here, I want you to picture yourself on the 1st of January. And I want you to picture your best self, how you feel after a successful Christmas period. We've got through this challenge together. We've got through whatever might lie ahead for you in the next 4 weeks successfully. And just breathe those positive vibes of what it feels like to having had made it through, starting a new year afresh. How do you feel? Maybe you feel content and satisfied from your Christmas time. Positive and excited about 2021, having ditched 2020. And when our class is finished, I want you to journal these feelings that you're feeling now and how you want to feel in January. And sometimes when we visualize it and feel it, put it into words, we can start to make more positive steps towards that coming true. So gently breathe in and out through your nostrils and feel that for a while, this positive, graceful woman on the 1st of January. I'm going to let you breathe that in for about 5 breaths without the sound of my voice. And then very gently bring your hands to your heart center. I know many of you have never heard the Anusara Invocation. You don't have to sing it with me. Some of you know it, so feel free to join in. I'm going to be starting our 30 days with the sound of one Anusara Invocation. So just listen in if you've never heard it before. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. So settle in and try and really breathe all those positive things to you. And as you think about them, power of positivity, they're already coming true if you're letting your brain waves and your brain synapses think in that direction. All right, well done. So open up your eyes, stretch up, reach up. Good morning, 1st of December. Lizzie's here too, yay. Wiggle your fingers in the air in celebration to making it here. Awesome, bring your left fingertips down to the mat. Let's take a little side bend. Remember to keep your chin lifted so that you can always keep the breath flowing. You don't ever want to choke your breath. And then if you can, turn your head and look up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulder blades down your back. Fabulous. Inhale, reach up again and stretch up, wiggle your fingers. Yay, I made it. And then bring your left hand down, throw your right hand down, bow it over. Again, notice how we get to drop the chin. That tends to be a tendency. So lift your chin, breathe, open up to this month ahead. We can do it, ladies. We can end 2020 on a positive note. Inhale, reach up, sweep your hands behind you, baby back bend, working the spine in all 6 directions. And then exhale, bow your way forward, forward fold. Super, come on up. If you're on a cushion or something, which I always recommend, by the way, that you do start seated, then pop it to the side. Come on to all fours. Let your knees go right to the edges of the mat and bring your big toes together. And then come up on your fingertips. I often call these cupcake hands, as if you've got the most gorgeous cupcake, lots of icing on it that you don't want to squish. Okay, push the hands down and forward and root your booty back. Take a full breath in. So really think about getting spinal length. Your fingertips could potentially creep forward a bit more. And then exhale, bow into a forward fold there. Balasana, which is child's pose. And at any point through these 30 days, you can come to this pose. This is the bestest. Beautiful pose. Take a full round of breath here. And then inhale again, come up onto all fours. See if you can stay on those fingertips as you bring the fingers in a little bit. Then reach your right arm up and sweep it under. This now is a spinal twist. So we will have done the spine in all 6 directions. Settle. And then take one more breath. That's it, Nikki, you're doing it. Come on up. And as you reach your arm, give me a wave, say good morning. And then peel it under and through and feel that lovely twist. I love these first thing in the morning. Twist. Okay, and then come back up to all fours. Walk your knees now in together. Tuck your toes. You know I love this. There's nothing better than starting a practice by tucking all 10 toes underneath you and take a seat back there. Make sure the little toe, it often doesn't want to play. Tuck it under too. Remembering if anything gets too much, you can always just use your breath and come out for a breath. But if you can, stay here. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Wrapping your triceps towards your face, spread your fingers. And draw your low rib points in a little bit, okay? And then bend your left hand behind your head and use your right hand to help it. Notice if you've dropped your chin and lift your chin, like lean back on that forearm like it were a little pillow, okay? You should feel that nice stretch down the triceps. I've been digging ponds with my boys and I've got achy triceps, so this feels fab. Digging ponds as you do. Stretch on up. Other side, bend your right hand behind you, hold it with your left. Again, keep your chin lifted, lower rib points in, beautiful long spine. How are those toes feeling? They're going to feel fab when you let them go. Waking up the fascia all underneath your feet. Okay, and then unravel your arms. Inhale, come up on your knees, da, da, da. Come back to all fours, and then you can release those toes and just give them a little bit of a massage, a bit of love on the mat. If it's okay for your kneecaps, so miss this out if you've got sensitive knees, you can pick your feet right up off the mat. So you're just balanced on your kneecaps and give your ankles a circle in one direction and then go in the other direction. All right, and now point your toes like a ballerina. So you're going onto the tops of your feet, the shoelace tops of your feet, and take a seat back. Okay, gentle sun salutations. So as we move, try and remember, come up onto your knees, inhale, and inhale breath comes with an upward movement in general. Reach up. And then as you exhale, this is a downward movement as you come to all fours. So that's the basics of the breath. Inhale, lift your chin and look up and stick your beauty back, maybe wag your tail. And then exhale, push back to a child's pose again. Lovely long spine. Inhale, come back to all fours. See if you can breathe just through your nose. And then tiptoe your fingers back on the exhale. Inhale, reach up, stretch. This time, interlink your fingers, flip your hands so that your pulse points are pushing up. Lovely. Super if you've been typing a lot, which I'm guessing we all do really. And then unravel those hands, take a seat back down again. Moving on a little bit. Inhale, we move and shine up. Exhale, we come back down to the mat. Inhale, we flex the spine. Now this time, tuck those toes and start to stick your tailbone back and up to a bent leg downward dog. So I know in many other styles they teach, get your legs straight, get your legs straight. That's sort of secondary here. I want your spine long, stick that tailbone up. Imagine there was a little light on your tailbone, shine it up. And then you can start to think about squeezing the legs a bit straighter. Inhale, come forward to a high plank. Oh, that feels lovely. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. We're going to do this 3 times. Inhale, high plank. Exhale to downward dog. One more time. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, downward dog. And then bring your knees down to the mat. Walk your fingers back. A beautiful inhale breath. The arms can either sweep forward or to the side if you've got space. And then exhale, come back down to your knees. Again, moving on. Inhale, reach. Exhale to all fours. Inhale, look up, allow the spine to drop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Now bend the knees an awful lot now, really more than you think you should do. And then squeeze the right leg straight, push the heel. And as you look back at it, it should be hidden behind your second toe, so don't let it drop in and out. And then switch that over, bend your right leg, push the left heel down. And again, make sure the heel tracks right behind that second toe. And do that ever so slowly, there's no race, a couple more times as you walk your legs out. Okay, ease it out, wake it up. If you're not used to doing downward dogs, you might be feeling it in your arms a little bit. And then come to some stillness, push both heels towards the mat, booty goes higher. And then once again, bring your knees down to the mat. Walk your fingertips back. Full breath in as you reach and shine up. Untuck the toes, take a seat. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale and come down. Inhale, look up and then tuck your toes. Downward facing dog again. So look back at your feet and I want you to start to lift your left leg up behind you. And you can look back and as you lift it, don't let the toes disappear. So I want you to just be able to see your toes back there. So in other words, don't lift it so high that the hip starts to open. Try and turn your hip point down to the mat, your kneecap down to the mat, and your toes down to the mat. Push your right heel deeper if you can. Lift your chin, again, that space at your throat, and breathe. And then release that left leg down. Well done, everyone. And we'll do the other side. So float up your right leg, look back, and don't lift it so high that the toes disappear. Nice, strong, straight leg, hip turning down, toes turning down. Lift your bum higher, push. Lift your chin, one more breath, and then float that leg down. Good work, everyone. Inhale to a high plank. Now, if you'd like to, especially if it's the first time here, bring your knees down to the mat or keep them up like I'm going to do. And then look at your thumbs. That's where your boobs are going. So come forward a little bit and lower your chest down to your thumbs. So, okay, all the way down to your tummy. Untuck your toes. Inhale, snake up. This is Cobra pose. Squeeze the elbows in. Smile. And then maybe snake around a couple of times. Okay. And then release your face down. You're either going to tuck your toes, and if you've done yoga a bit longer, you could lift straight to downward dog, or some of you come with me through all fours, and then downward facing dog again. Okay, start to pedal the legs again, and then look up at your hands, and like you're walking, you're going to take one step up, dump, 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 keep walking, walking, walking till you get all the way to the top of your mat. Separate your feet inner hip width apart. Hands to your hips, bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, come up to standing, and exhale, hands to your heart center. So when you're standing, just make sure you're not pushing your hip creases forward and flattening off your bum. This will cramp your back. So try and keep the tops of your hips level with the side of your ankle. So this is called thigh bones back. You can really feel this. Step to the middle of your mat in chair pose. So you could take your fingers and imagine you poked yourself in the hip there. And so your trousers will crease. Stick the booty back and down. This is real thigh bones back. Anybody who gets backache, thigh bones back is fabulous. Bring your hands to your knees. Downhill skier. Sit down a little bit more. You can take it a bit deeper by bringing your hands to your hips, but really draw the elbows back. Stick the boobage out. Shake the ladies. And then release your hands, chair pose. Lovely. Maybe you can reach them up overhead. Remember, there's bus stops. Please get off the bus. When you're ready, sit your weight down. Really get those thigh bones back. Your back will love you for the rest of the day. Take one more breath, yogis. And then press into your heels like you're bouncing on a trampoline and doing. Inhale. Come on up. Exhale. Hands to your heart. Super. Stand with your feet inner hip width apart. Wrap your left leg, last one, best one, over the top of your right. Squeeze in. Inhale, reach on up. Interlink your fingers. Reach up, stretch up, and then exhale, bow over to your right. So you should feel that lovely stretch up your left-hand side. I'm trying my best to mirror you, which is weird on Zoom. Lift your chin. Over you go. Breathe. You want to breathe long and deep all today. Inhale, come up to center. Leave your hands exactly where they are and take that back leg and bring it around. If you've got your legs muddled, don't worry. You're leaning away from the front leg. Okay, inhale, exhale, bow. Most of you are going to your left. Lift your chin and breathe. This is the pose of Krishna. I'm telling Krishna's story actually this week in our regular classes. One more breath, yogis. Press into your feet. Lift your chin. Full breath into those side ribs. And then come on up. Unravel your feet. Bring your arms out to the side. Take a couple of circles there. Lovely. And then come back down to your knees. Hands on your thighs. Just take a long breath in and feel the difference between you 15 minutes ago and now. Hopefully your heart rate's just slightly elevated. There's a little bit more zing in you as you're ready to embrace your day and our whole month together. Bring your hands to your heart center. Namaste, lovely yogis. Really well done. So if you can, take your little journal, if you've got one, or go and find one, go and treat yourself to one. And I want you to write out just maybe 5 or 10 things of how you want to feel on the 1st of January. And by writing it down and being positive about it, we start to lay that path towards it. Okay, so, and you can always go back and look at it in days when you're feeling a bit blur and look at that as a reminder.